What's the worst thing you could say in a job interview to instantly lose your chance of getting hired?
That's a great question. I think saying something negative about the company or the position would be a huge mistake.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to talk about today: how to avoid common mistakes in job interviews and what to say instead to make a good impression.
We'll cover 3 key phrases that will help you get hired, including how to ask for a raise and how to dress to impress.
That's right, and most learners get the third phrase completely wrong, which is why they often don't get the job they want.
So, if you want to learn how to land a job and succeed in your career, keep listening.
Let's start with the first phrase, apply for a job, which is a very common phrase, but many people don't know how to use it correctly.
That's right, the phrase apply for a job means to formally ask for a job by sending in your resume and cover letter.
For example, I'm going to apply for the marketing position at that company, and it's essential to tailor your application to the specific job.
Here's the weird part: many people think that just sending in their resume is enough, but it's not. You need to make sure your application stands out.
Exactly, and that's why it's crucial to research the company and the position before you apply.
The next phrase is go for an interview, which means to participate in a formal conversation with the employer to discuss your qualifications.
For instance, I have an interview at 2 p.m. tomorrow, and it's vital to prepare for the interview by practicing common questions.
A common mistake people make is not preparing enough, and they end up stumbling over their words during the interview.
So, it's essential to practice, and to be confident during the interview.
Now, let's talk about dressing to impress, which means to wear clothes that make a good impression on the employer.
For example, I'm going to wear a suit to the interview to dress to impress, and it's crucial to consider the company culture when choosing your outfit.
Here's the weird part: some companies have a very casual dress code, so it's essential to research the company before the interview.
The next phrase is make a good impression, which means to create a positive image of yourself in the employer's mind.
For instance, I want to make a good impression on my first day of work, and it's vital to be punctual, friendly, and professional.
A common mistake people make is being late or rude to the receptionist, which can give a bad impression.
Now, let's talk about get hired, which means to be offered a job by the employer.
For example, I got hired as a software engineer at a top company, and it's essential to negotiate the salary and benefits before accepting the offer.
Here's the weird part: some people are afraid to negotiate, but it's a normal part of the hiring process.
The next phrase is land a job, which means to successfully get a job after applying and interviewing.
For instance, I landed a job at my dream company after months of applying, and it's crucial to follow up with the employer after the interview.
A common mistake people make is not following up, which can make them seem uninterested in the position.
Now, let's talk about ask for a raise, which means to formally request an increase in salary.
For example, I'm going to ask for a raise at my next performance review, and it's essential to prepare a solid case for why you deserve a raise.
Here's the weird part: some people are afraid to ask for a raise, but it's a normal part of career development.
Let's summarize what we've learned today. We've covered 4 key phrases: apply for a job, go for an interview, get hired, and land a job.
That's right, and today's challenge is to use one of these phrases in a sentence in the comments below.
For example, I'm going to apply for the job I've always wanted, and I'm going to make sure to dress to impress and make a good impression.
If you enjoyed this conversation, subscribe for daily English practice and improve your language skills.
And don't forget to tune in tomorrow when we'll be discussing how to improve your public speaking skills, and we'll share some tips on how to overcome your fear of speaking in front of an audience.